this morning one at a time, and please give them a round of applause as I introduce them. First, the Reverend Dr. Jonathan C. Augustine, who affectionately goes by Pastor J, the senior pastor here. Welcome him, please. Reverend Dr. Tony Bellin Egram, who is the presiding elder of the AME Church, who is representing Bishop Michael L. Mitchell. Please greet her warmly. Next, I want to introduce Miss Valerie Jackson, who is the former First Lady and wife of Maynard Jackson and a prominent business owner in her own right. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. Look for your name here. And next, I want to introduce our 55th mayor and ambassador Mayor Andrew Jackson Young, the 55th mayor of Atlanta. Mayor, don't go so fast. We might have to ticket you here, okay? Next, I want to introduce Mayor Bill Campbell, who is the 57th mayor of Atlanta. And then Shirley Clark Franklin, who's the 58th mayor of Atlanta. And next, I want to introduce Kasim Reed, who is the 59th mayor of Atlanta. Our 60th mayor is totally supporting of our efforts today, but had a scheduled conflict out west and couldn't get here in time for this rally. So I want to ask you to give Keisha Lance Bottoms a round of applause as well. And last but not least, let us all give a warm welcome to our 61st mayor, Mayor Andre Dickens. And now, Atlanta, let's give all of our platform guests one more warm round of applause. That's 50 years of inspired leadership, and we're all proud of them. Without further delay, I'm going to ask Reverend Dr. Pastor J to come and welcome us and give us an opening prayer.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is an honor to have you in this space at this time, and I affectionately share with you, you are always welcome at Big Bethel AME Church. Can I say to you and say also to these mayors, the sitting mayor and former mayors, welcome to the City Hall of Sweet Auburn. Big Bethel, long known as the City Hall of Sweet Auburn because it was a diverse peoples to come together to find a common solution to common problems. We're here this morning because we are aware of many problems, and we're here in support of this mayor with a vision cast by the former mayors to ensure that we address those problems as a community. When I was a boy growing up in New Orleans, my mother would oftentimes share with me, son, when you see something, say something. If there is any problem I have with so many faith communities today, and with so many pastors today, they see what's going on, but they refuse to say a mumbling word. Let me be clear. I'm not that kind of pastor, and Big Bethel is not that kind of church. You are welcome at this City Hall of Sweet Auburn, not just on this day, but you are welcome each and every day. Your presence here today says that we are aware that there is an autocratic leader who has been deliberate in targeting blue cities that are in red states that are led by black mayors. But your presence here today says that Atlanta is different. It says that Atlanta has set a benchmark of excellence for inclusiveness with its business operations in the city and at the airport. It said that Atlanta sets the standard, not just in the southeastern part of the United States, but Atlanta sets the standard for the United States of America in terms of how business should be done. So it is my honor to welcome you here today as we address some common problems. And as these former mayors and as those who are here assembled say to this current mayor, we got your back. We're standing with you. We're proud of you. We thank God for your courage, and we will stand with you. Give him a round of applause. We will continue to stand with you. The fight lies ahead, and we want you to know your strength is here with you. We stand with you, and we are proud of you. Amen. Now, where I come from, you need a little armor when you're getting ready to fight. So we're going to call on the one from above to protect us all for the fight that lies ahead. If you will join me, heads are bowed, eyes are closed. Precious and wonderful God, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, and God who has brought us thus far by faith, we come before you assembled in this sacred and holy place, believing in you and invoking, dear God, your presence. We ask you, dear God, to wrap yourself around the city of Atlanta, to wrap yourself around this mayor and these former mayors, to wrap yourself, dear God, around every individual here assembled, and allow us to buckle down in support of this administration as it prepares for a fight. But dear God, we call on those who have gone before us and those who have paved the way. We call on the name, dear God, of Maynard Jackson. We call on the name, dear God, of Julian Bond. We call on the name, dear God, of John Lewis. And dear God, we call on the name of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We are thankful for the examples of resistance they gave. And dear God, on this day, we pray that their spirits will be with us as we go forward. This is our prayer in your precious, matchless, marvelous, and most holy name. And let all God's people say, amen. God bless you and God keep you.
Good morning. I greet you in the name that is above every name. On behalf of Bishop Michael Leon Mitchell, the 134th elected and consecrated bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church and the presiding prelate of the 6th Episcopal District, which is the state of Georgia, today the time to act is now. We stand here in the cradle of civil rights, the birthplace of movements that changed not just a city, but have changed the world. From all of the peach trees, Auburn Avenue to Cascade Road, to Student Movement Boulevard, from the pulpits of our churches to the classrooms of our schools, Atlanta has always been more than a place on a map. It is a mood. It is a moral compass for this nation. But today, that compass has been tested. Across our state and across this country, we see a dangerous effort to roll back the very progress that generations before us prayed for, marched for, bled for. Just weeks ago, Atlanta made national headlines when our mayor and city leaders stood firm and said no to federal funds that come with strings attached, strings that would have forced the city to abandon its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. That decision cost Atlanta $37 million, but it reminded us that some things are worth far more than money. Our soul is not for sale. As Bishop Michael Leon Mitchell has reminded us through his theme, Call to Serve, this is not the hour for silence. Service is not passive, it is prophetic. To serve is to stand for truth, to stand for justice, to stand for every child, every worker, every elder who depends on us to keep faith with the vision of those who came before us. The African Methodist Episcopal Church has always been a church that serves the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. We were born in resistance, raised in resilience, and built to respond to moments just like this. From our over 400 congregations across the state of Georgia, we are called again to serve not in comfort, but in courage. So today, on behalf of Bishop Mitchell and the entire 6th Episcopal District, I'm calling upon every pastor, every clergy person, every steward, every deacon, every mother of the church, every trustee, every lay person to join this movement to protect the soul of Atlanta. Show up, speak out, stand together. Use your voice at the ballot box, your resources in your community, and your witness in every space where injustice tries to take toll. Atlanta cannot lose its soul, not on our watch. And as long as we are called to serve, we are called to stand. And so let us rise together, and not out of fear, but out of faith. Let us be the generation that kept the light burning, the faith living, and the promise alive. Because service is our calling, justice is our covenant, and the soul of Atlanta and the state of Georgia is worth fighting for. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor, and thank you, Elder. I'm looking out here, and I see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of friends. And Mayor Dickens is real good at pulling a name out and having the person individually stand. I used to could do that when I was his age, but I'm gonna do categories now. So I'm just gonna. I'm looking at this front row here. I'm gonna ask all the members of the clergy and pastors just stand as a group and be recognized. I also see elected officials and former elected officials. So if you are currently an elected official or formerly was an elected official, would you please stand now and be recognized? I'm looking at some old civil rights leaders and activists. If you consider you're part of the civil rights or the activist movement in Atlanta or Georgia or anywhere in the United States, would you please stand now as a group and be recognized? And then, of course, there are business people, some of whom have benefited from the city's minority and female business enterprise program, some who have just been successful businesses in general. So if you're part of the business community in Atlanta or in Georgia, would you please stand now and be recognized? Thank you all for being here. And there's one other group, and I'll just call them very important Atlantans. They may not be identified with any of the groups I've named, but they're very important Atlantans. If you're a member of the very important Atlantans group, would you please stand now and be recognized? That should be everybody. I think Marcy has stood at least 3 times with 3 different groups. I'm going to be real quick here and give the occasion, and then I'm going to be followed by our ambassador. I'm sorry, then I'm going to be followed by our mayor, and then followed by our ambassador, and then Mrs. Jackson, and then we got a freedom song that I won't lead you, but we've got somebody who can really sing, and if we're lucky, they might allow us to sing along. So our program's going to kind of follow that, and we're going to get you out of here very, very quickly. I know that Ambassador Young has another event, and then there are media interviews planned, so we're not going to be here long. We just want to come together in unity and show our mayor and show our city that that we are one. So I'm going to just make a few brief remarks about our occasion, and just so I would stay on time, Bill Campbell told me he'd yank me if I went too long, so I wrote them down, okay? So we're gathered here to rekindle the spirit of our city, to remind one another that courage, unity, and truth still live within us. Our mission today is clear. We want to bring people together to share knowledge, to demonstrate that when we act with purpose and when we act with faith, we can change the course of our community and we can push back against forces that seek to divide, distract, and even destroy us. We're here to awaken a new movement, one rooted in love and one rooted in justice, and in the unwavering belief that there is strength in unity and soul in our numbers. Atlanta was built by people who refused to dream small. We deemed as something greater. An Atlanta University Center rising on Old West Hunter Street, a beacon of learning and a beacon of freedom. It was there that W.B. Du Bois wrote of our souls in his timeless work, The Souls of Black Folk. We dreamed of voting, that sacred act of citizenship and hope. As Reverend Senator Raphael Warnock reminded us, a vote is a sort of a prayer. And so in 1949, A.T. Walton and John Wesley Dobbs, Maynard's grandfather, formed the United Negro Voters League to give prayer both voice and power. We dreamed of changing hearts, and we dreamed of changing systems and reshaping public policy, transforming not just this city, but transforming this nation. Dr. Martin Luther King gave that dream its moral fire, and Ambassador Andrew Young gave it its practical wisdom and strategic vision. And then came Maynard Holbrook Jackson, followed by a bench of 6 strong mayors, 5 of whom are with us this morning, showing us that City Hall could be more than just marble tower. It could be a lever of justice, could be a lever of fairness, and it can be a lever of equal opportunity for all. Now, this is the dream that is under attack today. And this is why we are here, to defend it, to preserve it, and to pass it on to future leaders stronger than before. We will never, let me say this again, we will never deny the values that have not only made this city great, but have made this city just. And as the great jazz artist Gregory Porter sings, there will be no dying here today. There will be no love dying here today. And I say unto you, there will be no justice dying here today. There will be no fairness dying here today. There will be no dream deferred, no dream drying up like a raisin in the sun. Not today, not in this city, not on our watch. We are here. We are here, preachers and teachers and laborers and labor leaders and employers and employees and public servants and private citizens, black and white and brown and yellow. We are the keepers of the dream and the inheritance from our ancestors. And we stand together this morning in unity, declaring that fairness, inclusion, and diversity are not slogans. They are Atlanta's DNA. They are who we are. So this morning, we lock arms in the name of Richard Allen. We lock arms in the name of Martin and Malcolm. We lock arms in the name of Ella Baker and Fannie Lou Hamer. We lock arms in the name of Maynard Holbrook Jackson. And yes, in the name of Jesus. We so do this to honor those who gave their lives so that we might live in peace and that we might live in freedom and that we might live in justice. We do so to say to our mayor that you are not alone. We are with you. We got your back. And we will not leave you alone. This is our story. This is our song. This is our prayer. This is our occasion.
All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. One more time. Here it is, our people find ourselves at church. In my opinion, this is where all good things start. In this place, we find our center point, our North Star, and our ground zeros. When David was about to confront Goliath, he shared with Saul that because he had slayed the bear and he had slayed the lion, he believed that God will allow him to slay Goliath. I stand in a pulpit of Big Bethel on Sweet Auburn in a city like none other in the world. I stand in a city that then and now is clearly the most consequential place in America. I stand with folks who have before had to slay the bear, slay a lion, so their faith have brought them to this place this day, because Goliath does not stand a chance in Atlanta on Sweet Auburn with a bunch of folk who have slayed bears, slayed lions, been there, done that, got the notes, got the t-shirt, some of the scars, but by God, victory is mine, saith the Lord. That's just part one of the good news. I could
walk out and go to my 7 other meetings from that part 1. But part two is that in a consequential city, in a church house, on a place like none other in Sweet Auburn, the group project is in full effect because I stand on the shoulders of giant slayers. People who have time and time again for the past 50 years had to do tough things, make serious decisions, make quality decisions, stand on the square and on the principles of the cultural DNA of a place like none other, the city of Atlanta. So my whole life, I've had a black mayor. Maynard Jackson, Ambassador Andrew Young, Bill Campbell, Shirley Franklin, Kasim Reed, Keisha Lansbottoms, and yours truly. And I'm glad Valerie Jackson is here because she has something to say too. So I stand in a square, not just because I've slayed a bear or I've slayed a lion that I can face Goliath. Part 2 is I'm happy because I got some soldiers, some folks that have done it before, some folks that have invoked you all to do it with them, so we don't have to do this alone. That's good news, part 2. And third is the value of the folks that are in this room that roll up their sleeves every single day, the pastors that stand in pulpits every single Sunday and all throughout the week praying for folks and helping folks. And then the world's greatest city council, I'm looking at you all, Doug Shipman, Marcy Collier Overstreet, Andrea Boone, Matt Westmoreland. I saw Jason Winston, Liliana Battiari. I saw Lewis somewhere over on that side. Michael Julian Bond coming in the back. And Wayne Martin on the way. And anybody else that's running for something between now and Tuesday. You too, Rob Pitts. God bless you on Fulton County. And our school superintendent, that's of APS, and then our APS principals. We don't stand on these, I don't stand alone. And so this week, I'm thankful to Big Bethel and to the clergy here. I'm thankful to you, Jabari, Samama, and Nisha, for having this wisdom and this idea to bring us all together. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for letting us know, these electeds know that you stand with us in these tough times. We are facing unprecedented times. Last week, I spent a good bit of my time dealing with a threat to child care, the Head Start program, making phone calls. Courtney English, my chief of staff, and others, we trying to make sure that what the federal government is doing to people and not for people is not going to have us lose a Head Start program and all the momentum that we have with our early childhood education goals and all these activities. Spend a whole lot of time rallying nonprofits to fill in for the federal government. And then in about an hour and a half from now, we'll be making some announcements and declarations and some things that we're going to be doing around SNAP food stamps that are being stripped away or unprecedented times to not feed people. Sitting on money that they receive from every single American and not feeding folks. So in an hour or so, you'll hear about what we're doing in conjunction with so many others in this room. But we're spending time, I mean, folks call us about potholes most days. But we're spending time feeding the least, the less, the lost, making sure folks are housed, making sure child care is provided. And now we are in a fight around disadvantaged business programs. But again, as I say, we face the lion. We face the bear. And God Almighty, we will get through Goliath. Thank you.
Now, the mayor just talked about his work plan, what he is doing, and what he's got to do. The purpose of us being here this morning is to talk about our work plan, what we're doing, and what we got to do. And I think if the mayor on the policy side and the city council are doing what they're supposed to do and all they can do, at least we can do is to come together as a community to discover how we can be supportive, what we are to be doing. And we plan to roll that out over a 12-month period. Now I want to bring someone who needs no introduction, star of a great film, Andrew Young, The Dirty Work. He was wonderful there. I thought he was Stokely Carmichael for a minute. He was speaking so radically. But let's bring our ambassador forward and have him bring comments in his own behalf, but also on behalf of all the former mayors. Let's give this freedom fighter a hand.
It's not working? Yeah,
There
this
you
is
go.
working.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to try to be quick, and that's very difficult for a preacher and a long-term politician. But this is where it all began. These ideas didn't come from Washington to us. It came from us to Washington. And I think we're holding up well. But let me just make a quick summary. I went to Washington as your congressman in 1970. And I was trying to get on the banking committee, and I got on the banking committee because I was trying to get some federal money to build an airport. And one day, I came out of Congress, and there was a young fella by the name of Bill Holland, and he said, I understand you're trying to get some money for the airport. And I said, well, I'm trying to figure out how we get it out of Washington. He said, you're wasting your time. He said, if you really want to build this airport, he said, we got all the money you can use on Wall Street. And I said, look, you call Maynard Jackson in Atlanta, because the year after I was elected to Congress, Maynard was elected to mayor. And Maynard talked to this young man, and the next thing I know, he was in New York. And I think the first check was $700 million. And it had a long list. Delta, Eastern, United, American. Everybody was on the list. And then down at the bottom, it was Hertz and Avis and Marriott. And at the last, on the bottom of the bottom, it was the city of Atlanta. And when I got there, we were getting our second tranche. And the young man there, some of you all will remember him, Ricky Grigsby. I said, why did you put us on the bottom? He said, that's why I went to law school. He said, in fact, he said, that's why you called up Howard University and got me into law school at Howard. And I said, what's that got to do with it? He said, well, that's why you're on the bottom. The city's on the bottom. Because everybody has to go bankrupt before you have to pay. Now, right out of that, I think the last time I talked to somebody at the airport, there's been an accumulation of $62 billion that has gone through that airport. And I remember when we first were getting ready to open, Maynard was mayor, and everything had been done, but they forgot about paving the parking lot. And there was a young woman who was on welfare. She had 3 or 4 children. She was living in the public housing project at Techwood Homes. But she also had a degree from Georgia Tech. But she was a divorcee with small children, and she just happened to be white. She might have even been blonde. I didn't meet her. But I know that story, and I'm thinking that it seems like the U.S. government has a preference for women who are blonde. If you're a blonde woman, you can get a job as department head of anything around Washington. And so she was blonde. I think she was blonde. But she put in the lowest and best bid for paving the parking lot. Now she had been discriminated because she was a woman, and she couldn't do anything but pave her friends' driveways. Well, this occasion took a woman on welfare who'd been mistreated by a man who was probably a white man, and she went from welfare to being a millionaire on one contract. Now, why would we walk away from that? You know, when I was last in the airport, when I was mayor, there was a young lady by the name of Rita Samuels. And Rita, I remember the guy said, we have $800 million of contracts that we've given to women in the airport. And the women started clapping, and Rita Samuels jumped up and said, wait a minute, don't clap for that. It should have been $1 billion. And sure enough, pretty soon it became $1 billion. And everything that's made this nation great, we've done well here. Now, it goes all the way back to the public schools. Now, I don't care what you think of public schools. I went to them, and most of you went to them. And you had teachers who got discriminated against. But they took their discrimination and they went north and got master's degrees and PhD degrees because nobody wanted them to go to southern white colleges. And they got those degrees. And then somebody sued, and the state governments had to pay for the education of these women who went north to get master's and PhD degrees. And that's why we've got the school system we have. We complain about it because we complain about the children in public schools, and we forget that they're our children. And we complain about our children too, because they're just like us. And but what this has led to is, when the last report I saw from Forbes magazine, the highest level of college potential, of college students, graduates, in any city in the world, it's at 60%. It's the city of Atlanta, Georgia. That came out of, I think, the fact that when we were discriminated, we found extraordinary ways to combat discrimination, and we went on and did it our way. Now, that's where we are now. We're not about to go back. We can't go back. I almost don't want to say this here because we are public, but the last time I went out to the airport and went into the board meeting with all the people who make the decisions, I didn't see but 3 men. And everybody else was women. And they were mostly black women, but there were one white man, one white woman. And I said, how long have you all been going this way? They said, this is just the way it happened. That we started out trying to keep the planes on time, trying to keep everybody working, trying to make sure it's the busiest and the best airport in the world, which it is still. And it just happened. We didn't try to make it happen. And so I think that we have accidentally, with the guidance of God and the leadership that you have elected and the humble submission of the service and prayers of our citizenry, we've become one of the best and one of the great citizens of the world. Now, we haven't all agreed. And I remember when all of the friends who went way out on a limb and supported me to run for mayor came to me and said, now, Andy, we've been with you on everything you've done so far, but this Olympics thing, come on, just leave that alone. You're going to make Atlanta, leave Atlanta with $700 million in debt like Toronto is. And I begged to differ. And I pleaded with them to let us, I said, well, if you don't want to help, just watch us. And then a whole nother group of people came together, and before long, they were announcing that the Centennial Olympic Games were coming to Atlanta. And I mean, even the most visionary friends I had did not believe that that was possible. And yet, it happened, and with all of the problems, we raised $2.5 billion with no government money. And I think minorities got 41% of that. And we ended up with $100+ million surplus. So I think that whatever they call it, I don't even know what the initials stand for, because we don't need initials. We have it in the spirit and in the heart and in the mind of Atlanta. And it's not a program, it's not a decision or congressional legislation, it's a way of life. And it's working so well. The only problems we have are the problems when we didn't rely on it. And that was when we got to arguing about the flag with Roy Barnes. And you know, whatever you think about the flag is not important, but what I heard about every day, and you do too, is because of that, we lost an election, and we should have had Highway 485. You know, 285 is 30 miles from the center of the city. 485 would have been 40 miles from the center of the city. And it would have taken all of these trucks off our expressways and out of our city streets and sent them around to Mobile and Savannah, which is where they want to go in the first place. And so I want to thank you for believing in God's messages put in your hearts and mine. And that's why we are who we are. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna stick. Jesus brought us this far. And we followed the Spirit, a Spirit that has led us closer together, regardless of race, creed, gender, or national origin, and made us one of the great cities of the world. And I thank God and I thank you. Let's keep on keeping on.
the great Maynard Jackson meant so much to all of us. I think it's only appropriate that we hear from our former First Lady and the wife of Maynard Jackson.
Thank you. Woo. Thank you, and good morning, Atlanta. Oh, I'm definitely honored to be here with Mayor Andre Dickens, the former mayors, Dr. Jabari, Samama. He told me a story about Maynard remembering his name. Said, just think of me as your mama, Samama. Yeah. Anyway, and all of the others of you have made this gathering possible. Maynard would be very proud to see that a half century after his administration created Atlanta's Minority and Female Business Enterprise Program, that so many of you are here to honor its legacy and to declare that we will not allow the principles of fairness, diversity, and justice to be rolled back. Now, you younger ones, I see a few who look like they might be under 40. You younger ones may not really know of the tough fight for minority and female inclusion in Atlanta's municipal contracts. In a city that was 51% black, less than 0.5% of contracts went to minorities and women. Maynard wouldn't stand for that. Maynard's politics of inclusion became a model not only for the state, but the nation. In 1983, the US Congress passed a law that mandated any city or state that received federal transportation funds would have to allocate at least 10% of those funds to minorities and women. It went all the way up to DC and even beyond. If we stop valuing diversity, we not only hurt our economy, we betray the very spirit of justice and opportunity that defines Atlanta's identity. We cannot let that image fade due to a lack of action in response to today's challenges. We must unite our strengths and resist the injustice we face in having equal opportunities erased or rolled back. Maynard often said, we have to fight to get free and fight to stay free. Today, 50 years later, we are called to continue that fight, not just for the DEI program, but for the moral clarity and unity that built Atlanta. To be part of a larger struggle for equity across this state and nation. Some call us woke, but are we? Are some of us falling asleep on the job while others are rebuilding barriers? Today, 50 years later, we're called to continue that fight, because it's not just about jobs, but about dignity also. Years ago, I was walking through Hartsfield-Jackson, and an elderly man ran after me, Miss Jackson, Miss Jackson. And as he ran up to me, he said, Miss Jackson, I just want to tell you that when I first started working here at the airport, I was just a shoe-shine boy. But your husband made it possible for me to learn how to write a proposal and to write a proposal for my shoe-shine stand. And Ms. Jackson, I went from being a shoe-shine boy to a businessman. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! The pride and dignity that I saw on his face, I'll never forget. I was touched by him and the many others who've told me similar stories. Andy, your story about the woman who got the parking lot, the paved parking lot, reminded me of a young man that I made an award to at the Maynard Jackson Legacy Awards at the airport a couple of years ago. And I talked about how Maynard was facing all of these major companies, and they kept saying, well, Mr. Mayor, we just can't find qualified people to work with, qualified contractors. And so Maynard told them, and I digress here, and please forgive me for the length of my talk, but Maynard told them, he said, gentlemen, and they were all white, no offense. He said, gentlemen, I have walked every inch of this airport, and from what I see, 75% of it are runways. And what is a runway? But a long driveway. And we can do driveways. And after that talk, one of the awardees came to me, he said, Miss Jackson, I just want to tell you that I was one of those people that made driveways. And he said, and I got a contract with the city through the Equal Opportunity Program, and he said, and I have now been involved with 3 runways laying the ground. So, all right, back to the businessman. Whew. That businessman, that now elderly, proud businessman, reminded me of others who have talked about their Maynard stories, and the many women who Maynard opened doors for at City Hall and led to significant corporate careers like Ingrid Saunders Jones at Coca-Cola, or female contractors like Karen Duckett, a woman of color who helped to design the new terminal, paving the way for Jan Lennon, who is now the Deputy General Manager, a woman of color, for Hartsfield-Jackson. Now, actually, she runs the airport, but don't tell Ricky Smith, who's the general manager, that I said that, okay? You'll probably hear it anyway. Maynard also gave Stacey Abrams her first job in politics as the student coordinator between City Hall and the HBCU schools. Maynard's politics of inclusion meant unity, individuals and groups forming a complex whole for a better outcome. And we here today may not always be on the same page, but we're in the same book and we're on the right track. Although Mark Twain once said, you may be on the right track, but if you just sit there, you'll get run over. So we have got to act, we have got to move, and today here, coming together to create a stronger force, a unified action, resisting efforts to eliminate diversity, equity, and the politics of inclusion. I know you Morehouse men are familiar with Dr. Benjamin E. Mays saying, if you believe in something, you've got to act on it. If you don't act on it, it's not a belief, it's an opinion. And I tell you, I know that we've got no shortage of opinionated people. But so what we need now are more believers. Your actions today will not just impact Atlanta's future, but will extend to the state and even the nation in its service, as did Maynard's. I lost my first love, a Marine, in the Vietnam War. And he came back home in a casket draped with the American flag, recognizing his service to the nation. And when I lost Maynard, my last love, but I still love him every day, when his casket returned draped with the American flag, even though he never served in the military, he had served the nation in many important ways, and it had been recognized. Thank you. And on behalf of our family and our daughters, Brooke and Alexandra, are here with me today. On behalf of our families, I thank each of you for honoring the vision God placed in Maynard's heart and for living out that vision through your own leadership and service. May you find the same courage that Maynard found to continue to the work that he began. He gave us a powerful beginning. It's up to us now to sustain it and carry it forward. Thank you for being a part of this critical journey of unity and action. I stand with you in solidarity, in truth, and in power. May God continue to bless us with strong leaders and even stronger citizens. With love, thank you. I'm sorry I went over.
Richard Martin. Just want to say this before we close. We need all the mayors to come up front. We're going to take one photo op with Andy as we sing the Freedom Song, and I'm sure Richard Morton is going to engage all of us in a spirited way of closing this out. This is only the kickoff. This is not the end. I think most of you who have registered, we have a way of contacting you. If you did not register, please leave a way for us to contact you outside at the front desk. Not the end, only the beginning. Richard, come to us and bring us off.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, Mayor. Well, absolutely.
Well, it's really two things.
Okay.
Might be three by the time the Holy Spirit I get going again. But one is, we got to wish a happy birthday to Azira Hill. If we're standing here, as Jesse Hill was right there, so was Miss Azira. Stand up, Miss Azira. Stand up. 100 years old, 100 years young. 102 now, 102. Talking about the civil rights movement and the fight for justice all her life. Thank you. And the second point, and it's a lot of important folks, and I'm glad you had everybody stand. Everybody in this room is important. And one thing that all of us can do is go vote. It's voting time. It's voting time all over Atlanta, all over Georgia. It's voting time. So while you're trying to figure out what all we're going to give you as your homework to do, as we go out here to continue our fight for freedom, justice, liberation, and to make sure that all things about equity and inclusion continues to happen, one thing you can do is between now and Tuesday is make sure you and all your friends go vote. Y'all got that? All right, let's go vote. Now back to you, Dr. Samama.
And as Richard's engaging us, I want the mayors to begin to make their way down to where our ambassador is. And we're going to take a group picture and sing from down there. And I assume everyone will be able to join in?
Sure.
All righty.
When Jabari asked me to sing We Shall Overcome, I had to go reflect on a name, Lucille Simon. Many of you don't know her, but she was just a common lady in Charleston, South Carolina. She was picketing American Tobacco Company. And she sang this song, We Shall Overcome. We would not even know about this song had it not been for this unknown lady who went to Tennessee at Highlander Folk School. And while she was there, she sang this song, and William Horton, who was a cultural fair person there, learned the song, and she taught it to Pete Seeger. And that song became a song that we sing all around the world. So what I want you to do for me now, I want all of you to stand. All of you to stand and move closer. Your left hand, I want it turned downward. And your right hand, turn up. So you can grab the hand of the next person to you. Come on over. overcome. We shall overcome. We shall someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe. Oh, we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We're not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, it's deep in my heart. I do believe we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. Oh, we are not afraid. Oh, we are not afraid. We're not afraid. Today. Oh, it's deep in my heart. I do believe that we shall overcome
We bless you. We thank God for you. We invite you to go in peace and go in the spirit of activeness. But remember, you are always welcome at Big Bethel AME Church.